are going to start off looking at the SPY chart. And then from there, we're going to plan out what we shall do going into market open. We did have the government reopen overnight, really didn't do anything to the market, still kind of flat going into today's pre-market price action. So I am going to just have a look to see what an easy way to trade SPY going into market open is, and see if we can get any clean entries to the upside or downside. And we go on the 15-minute, have a look. And see what we have. And if you just tuned in on socials, welcome. I do this every Thursday. Pop in here on socials and in the Discord. We go over live trading, maybe do some live option trades or maybe equity, depending on the watch list and how much momentum those picks get going into market open. But we will do our best to see if we can find a trade and trade live with everyone here, and trying to make a little bit extra cash going into the weekend. So that's what our plan is. I'm going to go over SPY here. We look like we got some resistance here. I'm going to put on. I'll put it up here, and then I'm going to go as high as up here, and all the way to the top a couple of days ago. I think we're going to get some action either way after market opens. I think the volatility is going to bring us some really good entries to the downside or upside. We do have a gap to fill from a couple of days ago all the way down to 672 on SPY. We can definitely do that. It's not out the question. SPY could definitely drop that much, but we do have this unresolved gap. Didn't fill. We actually retested the top of the gap here and bounced off. So it didn't even fill that gap right there. So that could be in play if the market decides to sell off pretty strong today. At the moment, though, it's been buy the dips, right? So we've been buying the dips a lot and just kind of going sideways, buying the drop and then putting it right back to the top, and then it's just going up and down sideways in this zone right now. So downside, let's put these lines in. I'm going to put this line in here. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. I think this is fine. Go down to the 3-minute chart and have a look what that gives us. I'm going to get rid of, I don't need these. So I'm going to make more mess. Just need this. So we got this resistance here I'm looking at. So we got this, we got this, we got this. Also here is support. So it was between support and resistance, this area. So that is around I'm going to say 681, break above 681. Then we can play some upside towards 682. And then we have moved to about 684. That's on the table as well, that we could possibly see if we get that real good momentum on the buy side volume. So we just got to wait for that to play out. So we're going to go above this level here, 681, play it up here. And then if it keeps going through these resistance points, we just keep aiming towards the next resistance point. And then if we get rejection, then we can look to take our profits on our calls and look for another setup. That's how I am going to trade it. Gap. This is not great, so I'm going to put it right there, that line. So every time we get through a resistance, I'm going to raise up my stop right behind on the option side. So if we do get to our entry and we get to our target 1 and then target 2, target 3, target 4, and so on, I'm just going to keep on raising my stop. Maybe if I have a couple of contracts, I take one off the table here in this profit, and then I'll hold one for the next area of targets, and then I'll raise up my stop behind. So if it does decide to push up above that and then fall down, I'm still going to be in profit on that last contract if I have 2. I'm not going to go red once I get to my target points. So that will be upside. And all I'm going to look for to the downside And normally when the actual government reopens, we don't normally get a positive reaction. We normally get the positive reaction while the government's closed, and we get the move there. And then once the government reopens, we don't get the best results after that. We may just get a pullback for a dip buy again. So I'm just looking for a loss of that, and then we play downside momentum if we lose this level here. So that's 680. I'm going to put here. I'm going to write it down. Below 680, I'm going to look to play 679, or if you want a little bit cheaper, 678 puts, and it will be for Friday, so that will be November 14th. We got about 30 seconds, so we're about to run into market open here. So let's see how this plays out. This will be above 681, and I will look to play 682 or 683 calls for November 14th. We're going to let the market open, just ride out before we start looking at other stuff. And this is how I'm going to play it. 1 or 2 3-minute candle close under this for it to be valid. And then we want to see the same thing above this to be valid to the upside. Okay, market is open. Everyone ready? Crazy SPY came below. Yeah, so it was 680.50 at the moment. So when I come on the streams, I normally have a box I don't like to trade. That box is right here. So I'm not going to be trading this box. I'm going to be waiting for a breakdown under or a break above, and I will trade it accordingly that way. And all I'm going to be playing, and this is a strategy I teach. I got the ribbon on my chart, which is the SMA 20 custom ribbon that I made. And we're looking right now bearish underneath the ribbon, bullish when we get above the ribbon. Same thing also with RSI, right? RSI above 50, more strength, below 50, bearish weakness. So I'm going to queue up SPY to try to get a trade out of this one. We're getting some pullback here. We're already dropping below 680. Just queue up to see what this one does, because I know this one's now pulling back under 680. If we close under this the next candle that's going to give me that confirmation we're going to keep falling, or we're going to get a pull back right back up. So I'm going to just let that next candle decide what I'm going to do on this particular trade. Right now it's sitting right at that support 680. And if I'm screaming in the background, guys, I have some sciatica pain. It's like shooting back pain I've had overnight, and right now it's better. But last night I couldn't move in bed, so I'm gonna try my best to not scream so much. I do have Tesla on my. I'm going to look at Tesla here too. We're actually down about 2% on Tesla again today. AMD won that pump yesterday. I thought we were going to get pullback yesterday. We started to get that pullback. Made a little bit money on puts. And then Oracle, I want to see if we're going to get some nice entries to the upside on Oracle after the huge pullback after the gap up. They got the gap, get it right back down, and they're all the way back to where they were before the whole news, and I think it was earnings. So I am going to just check those ones as well. Yeah, a doctor, just like give me a break. I got the hands, foot, and mouth. Then I got this flu going around. Now I have some sciatica pain, which I never really get, and it's like just shooting pain when I try to move. So it's right now I woke up better, but I couldn't even get to sleep until that pain was gone. So it was tough. I definitely feel like I'm 50 years old or something right now. I think I just need to start working out a little bit. I need to start like getting on the bike a little bit more daily, so I don't have this kind of problem. I think got a little bit lazy there. I need to start getting into some shape again, how I used to be. Yeah, that is the worst. You're right. You know, I was pretty skinny all my life, so now I got a little bit chunkier, and I think I'm over being chunkier now. I just feel like I cannot carry this little bit of extra weight. I need to just go back to what I used to do, play soccer and be a little bit more active. But kids will do that. You have a lot of kids, you know, then you have to be, I shouldn't even make any excuses, should I? But I should definitely be on top of that. So we're still in this box. This is the Maverick box I don't want to touch. Yeah, dad bod. I think that's what it was. And I've been like, you know, pretty like average or underweight, I feel like, most of my life. And then into adulthood is when I just, you know, unleash eating whatever I wanted. So I'm not exercising as much. And this is what I think it's after COVID that it got like that. So I need to get back on that, and maybe before trading, I get right on the machine and start doing some exercise before trading. Okay, so we're still in the box. Nothing going on here. Tesla's still trying to bounce a little bit. Like I've been saying, RGTI, which is a quantum name, garbage. The inverse bearish ETF, which I loaded about $9-10 in my coaching, which is weekly. I go through some trade ideas in our coaching. That was about $10 entry, and it's up to $26 now. So, and that was like a month only. You could have played that up and down so many times. So RGTZ up about, was that 150% from where I loaded it just about less than a month ago. So, okay, so we're getting some move to the downside now. Got about 30 seconds left of this candle, but we do, if we look over here, I'm going to use the brush here, you can see this is sell side volume. We're not going to see a pump on that kind of volume, sell side volume, right? Price action is going to follow. So we got price action following that sell side volume and to the downside. So this next candle after this closes is going to give me an opportunity to enter, or it's going to bounce right back up and it's going to be invalid entry to the downside. So I'm just going to pay attention to the next candle here. If that follows through, then I'm going to look to take that. I'll probably go for 678 puts for tomorrow. That's what I queued up here. And I will let you know when I get into it. If you want to get into it by your own plan, so be it. That's okay. Just have a plan in place for protection and targets as well before you jump in on this. Target will be 678.71, and then down to as low as 676 if we really start getting that pull down. Hello, Farouk. Welcome back, buddy. Like to see you here. Yes, the way it's going, it could definitely possibly be down to that 676 very shortly. And we got a nice 4-candle sell-off right from market open, 4-candle sell-off candles. This is looking a little bit better to the downside. I'm going to look at something while this one plays out. Look to trade a little core weave if I can here. So we're looking to go down to that target. So buy strategy that I teach in the coaching. If you want to be a part of the coaching program, there's over 100, I believe 140 current members in the coaching program. But we just go over simple strategies that can make your life a lot easier trading, and just simplify it and just take out the noise that's all out there, right? Because there's so many people discussing so many strategies, and maybe they're not as simple to trade. And that's kind of where we come into a simple strategy with the ribbon, with volume, and just one or two more indicators that we're looking at for entries, for swings, for day trades, the scalps. That's what we're doing there. Okay, so this is still pulling down. This is what I like to see. There's a lot more sell side volume here, so nothing telling me that we're going to get a reversal here. This candle may just fizzle out. We're going to see what happens with this volume on this next candle. That may just fall right off, so I'm going to just watch that. Nothing telling me otherwise, just sell side volume still here. About to touch our first target on the downside. Very close. There we go. Right, we didn't really hold through that line, so we see if this candle closes on that line and bounces, or we just fall right through it to the next target. Next target being 676, 75-ish. Anyone inputs so far in SPY? Or any other trade, maybe Tesla your inputs, because downside for Tesla is also 2.3% down. AMD, I think more downside after the initial push yesterday is likely to come as well. Tech is the number one sector that gets sold off, right? When the market sells off, tech is that risk on. And if we do start to see some big pullbacks, then tech will be sold the first. And then, you know, they invest into the big investors, so they're going to put it into safer sectors, or maybe gold, until that stops, that sell-off stops. So, and then they may just jump right back into those risk-on stocks. So we're going to see just rotation there. So first target hit for SPY puts. Sitting right on that support line. So we're going to see what this candle does, about 38 seconds. If it closes under, then more downside. Hopefully I'm not putting you guys to sleep with my narrating of of these SPY put. Just, it can be so simple to trade, guys. You don't have to make it so complicated. The Maverick indicator I can share. That's this ribbon. So you're going to get buy and sell signals based on the ribbon. You know, normally above it, we're going to get the buy signal, and below it, the sell signal. But on swing trading compared with day trades, you look for a little bit different things that we do go over in the coaching program. But I can share the indicator. Let me see if I can find a link for you. Indicator. There you go. If you want to take a look, there it is. It's only $10 a month. Nothing huge. Just something to help. All right. SPY is still falling off. While that's playing out, I want to check CoreWeave, because CoreWeave I was discussing with some of the members, and this one looked like, if you were on last week's stream, one of our members mentioned CoreWeave, and they were asking what I thought about this chart at the time, and I said it looks like it's gonna. It was in no man's land. I think it was like in the mid 110 or 120-ish, and there was nothing really holding it up, and we did discuss it coming back down towards that 92. for a downside move. So if you took that, big profits there. If you took some puts on CoreWeave, because we discussed it in pretty good detail and where it was sitting, right? Because in the middle of a support and resistance, say it's right here, and if there's no support in sight, and the resistance is far away too, it's going to take a lot for us to say, well, let's take a trade once we get through resistance. Or why would I buy into it in the middle of nowhere? You know, so I did say, well, it looks like it's going to come back down towards 92 right here, and that would be my look to trading this, because we had good sell-off volume still in the mix on the weekly and the daily chart. That was way up here in the middle of nowhere. Now look where it's at. A couple of days later, like a week later, we are all the way down under 92, right? So what do we do now? You say, well, this is a bargain, right? This is underneath support. That's not a bargain. That's not, oh, I got it a little bit cheaper than others. No, this is not a confirmation reason to get into CoreWeave when it's below this support level here. That's just going to mean that we can just continue to fall to the next support. Maybe that's right here, the high after IPO. We can put that there. So we can technically right here, and I'm going to put this line as red now because that's resistance, not support anymore. We could continue to fall down to maybe $64. That's the peak that we saw before the pullback after IPO, then the big move after that. We could fall down to 64, which may be a much better discount and a much better entry for us than trying to buy it here thinking we're the hero. Oh, we got a little bit cheaper. We're going to buy it at 80 bucks or whatever it hit today, 79. That doesn't mean there's no confirmation to buy this at this level. The best way to buy this is either we start to get back above this previous support and we start to move. Preferably we push above, retest, hold, then we buy in, and then we make our trade, or we wait for that lower level to come in about 64, see if we get some really good reaction first. And then if we get the reaction, we trade it off 64 and we start aiming for, 92 or whatever that support is as a target. And once we get through that, then we can look to trade this back up to where it was, about 150 bucks. So just got to be a little bit smart, and we do review these. We do go over this. I do help you from grabbing a stock in the middle of no man's land and take it, being in a loss automatically right away. So for this one, the last time we traded this CoreWeave, we dropped below this 92, retest, then we got back above 92, and then we took the trade. And then after that, we went as high as 150, right, from this area here. So that's what I'm going to try to do again. Maybe I get it a little bit cheaper, and then I get all the way to 150 from 64, which is over 100%. Or I get back above 92, and I enter it above 92 again. So I do just wanted to bring that up because I had some members DM me about this as well during the week, saying, oh, this is going to bounce. This is a good entry. Let's just wait till we see some buying, and then we can talk about it once there's some buying pressure coming back into the chart. Right now, it's just sell off. Just sell, sell, sell. No buying here. Let me go down to Tesla. Tesla, big sell-off at market open as well. Look at this. The volume is really strong to the downside. If we look at the trends, MA, we got here RSI, we got here MACD, everything's bearish. It's not telling me to, oh, let me try to catch the bottom here and buy calls. No, we have nothing, no indication to say this is in a reversal state. We got a lot of bearishness in the pressure and the volume. Let's see what the volume is right now. It's about 70% right now to the sell side volume. So that's just telling me, no, there's no bottom in sight at this moment. I need to see some buying volume there. Let me go back to SPY. SPY dropped below that level. So now we're going down towards that next tier of 676. So that will be turned as resistance. This will be read as resistance. And we just play the continuation until we start seeing a reversal. Then we can, take our profits and get out. How's everyone doing so far in the chat? So I'm going to go check the chat. See, I just closed out my QBTS puts. That was also in the coaching session. We talked about that one. So I am trying to come up with some short-term swings for us in the coaching as well, options and also equity. That QBTS, if you got into it, it was at 250 entry. You're up. I actually bought 2 contracts in the end. You're up about 44% from last week. And that is not doing much. That is entering with us on Thursday last week in the coaching and then selling a week later at 45%, which I just took my profit and I'm good with that. Thank you for mentioning that, Sailor. So I'm out of that. So that's a good to go there. Actually, had SPY puts overnight, so I sell those as well. What else do we got? UPS is holding up really well on UPS. UPS is really green here, so that's nice as well. So what are we seeing? Anyone think that SPY's change? Anyone think the trend has changed for SPY? Give me some of your feedback in the chat. No? Okay. Anyone make some money on SPY puts? You're up 66% on RGTZ. This is it. This is how easy it can be. If you don't need to focus on 100 different stocks. We focus on one at a time. RGTZ was just like a half a session talking about how I believe RGTI is garbage. They're not making money. Their market cap's at 20 billion. Their revenue is about 10 million a year. That's just, what is that telling you? And all the numbers that you see in their financials, it's red flags, overvalued, just a big hype. And we took advantage of that. By all means, you can ride the ride up with all that hype. But overall, there's going to be people taking advantage of that reversal to the downside. And that's what we did with RGTZ. We traded this one. If you look at this chart on the daily, we traded this one. Oh, this is RGTI. So you can see RGT's TI, which is Rigetti Computing, right? So they're quantum. We started trading this one once we started rolling over here. If you look at the daily, we got a negative sell signal from this candle, and from there, there's nothing, no buying, and we just broke down under this critical level here today. Look where it's at. Gap down here. We had a gap down here. We had a gap down here. There's lots of gaps to the downside, and the way it's looking, and I'm going to say I've told you so, we're going to end up down here somewhere. So we're going to probably end up around, if it holds up, about 17, 18 bucks, it looks like. And then maybe it picks up buying, and then we start moving back up by technicals. But financials, garbage all day long. And that's how we take advantage of it with this one. Look at this move. We were trading this down here. And look where it's at. All-time high is about $26, $27 nearly. So you don't need to trade options to make that kind of return. That's 150% return in probably around, how long is that? About 2-3 weeks of swinging this particular name. Look up prop. I can look up prop as well. Also, if you're a favorite of IonQ, I'm so sorry. We've been trading IonZ, and this one also is a short ETF 2x leverage, and this one also is down at the dump still. But look how we've been trading this. We've been trading this from the 3s, and it's at the 5s now, and this is still at the bottom of the chart, of the leverage chart. So we could start moving towards 550, and then we have this big move to the upside. If IonQ drops a lot more, we have an easy 100% bagger here on the IonZ. That also depends on IonQ. If this decides, look, I'm putting an anchor here, it's going towards the anchor now, right? So isn't that so funny? We are falling off a cliff also with IonQ. So the next level that you look at could be a great pickup long term, because IonQ actually makes decent revenue and they're actually growing. So I actually like this name better than others, but we could pick up maybe support here around 46, 47, and then we can start moving up. If we don't hold this 46, 47, we have some room And that's when ION-Z can be played. If you don't trade options, you can trade the equity short ETF, and you can play it down to about 36 next. And if we drop that, which is $10 over 20%, you're going to see about 40-50% return on ION-Z, right? Which is the leverage. I'm just going to pull the anchor down here. Let's see next week. I'm going to leave it there and see where it is next week. So we're going to do that. So hope that makes sense. Any questions you guys have, let me know. We're getting some buying volume down here now in SPY. So this is when, if you're a bear, this is when you look to protect your profits and put your max stop in place so you don't go red. Getting a little pickup. You see the buy and side volume here, a little pickup going on. So let's see what happens. Still needs to get above VWAP and the SMA ribbon for me to say this is more bullish. Right now, it's just having a little dead cat bounce for the day. The price, yeah, it dropped from entry to target to the low. It dropped. What were we looking for? It dropped under 680. We got down about $2.50 from our entry on the downside. My back is feeling a little bit better. Like I had to like maneuver myself out of my bed because every time I move, I get shooting pain, and I have to kind of just tense up for a minute. But it's okay. So man, QBTS is the one we talked about last week on my coaching. On the options, we made over 40%. But even this one, I mean, come on, guys. I mean, we lost support here as well. And if you miss the ride up, don't try to be okay, well, I missed the ride up, I can buy these dip buys now. It's going to reverse. It's definitely going to reverse. That doesn't mean it's going to reverse, guys, by saying it. By trying to speak it into existence doesn't mean it's going to reverse, right? So we want to see what the volume gives us. And right now we either hold here. The last ditch effort for QBTS is about 23.70. If we lose this here, then we have some room to come down to 20. And those puts that we grabbed last week will give you probably another 50% return, maybe more. Yeah, Pookie, that's how I swear that's how I was kind of getting out my bedroom like that skeleton in Discord. That's exactly how I was looking this morning. Last night, I just went in I felt like I was in a coffin. Just couldn't move. I was just straight, and I couldn't move. So that's how I looked for sure. Any other questions you guys have before I just keep on going? Can you look up prop? Yeah, that's right. Before I forget, let me look up prop for you, Mr. OG. Nothing really great coming out prop. So prop, we didn't hold the $2 range that I was looking for. We popped up right here, and we did move all the way to 225, but then we didn't hold up this support when we pulled back. So it's all the way back down here again. Could be a good pickup again if you grab a little position. Maybe this is a good pickup if we can hold this bottom here again. So I'm going to put this line down here, and I'm going to get rid of that one. And we're in the middle of, again, no man's land. Not worth saying this is a discount, let me buy. No, let's see if we ever retest this area, get good reaction. And then once it gets good reaction, then we have some reason to get into some more shares of this, more buying volume, RSI is showing strength. Then we can get a bit more confirmation to the mix to give us a reason to buy more shares or maybe start a position. Right now, this is not going to help me start a position. I'm probably going to go red if I bought more shares today. So we either break back above 182, we start moving up there again. Then that looks more more reason maybe to buy on the reversal if we get through resistance and we start doing this again, or we retest that 164, hold 164, we see some buying like this down here, then we can look to buy some shares down there, cheap shares. Everyone loves some cheap shares, but only if it makes sense, right? Only if we got a hold and not just a reaction and just it sells off more. We want to see a reaction, buy side, bouncing off the area for us to say, well, it's holding. This could be a good reason to buy some more shares here. So for me, prop is one that I would just wait for 164 retest and see what it does, or wait for a break back above 182, and then that could be a sign to maybe add a few more there. Overall, the targets will be the same, so 235, 272, and that's just the beginning. But oil and gas, that sector has been beaten down heavily. We got gas prices at all-time lows as well in the pump, right? So everything's kind of deflated in that sector. Once that starts to reverse, and once oil starts to reverse, and then these kind of names will start moving quicker to the upside as well, these little small caps. Especially with this company that's making, if we go to stockanalysis.com, you can see the prop. I believe their financials are better. Like their revenue, you can see from 7.9 million in 2024 to this trailing 12 months, it's making 88 million. So it's a huge revenue bump that they're making. Net income's not net income's positive, actually, it looks like. So their trading 12 months is positive now on the net income. So that's interesting stuff to kind of think about. Cash, they're sitting around the most cash they've had in a while, so about 10 million. So when they're making profit, net income, they're not going to burn cash. So maybe that 10 million will last them quite a bit of time. Maybe they'll build on that with their income that they get. Assets is 800 million. Liability is sitting at just under that, 599. So that's good. Total debt's about 390. So not so bad for a small cap in that sector. That I like to see right here. So that could be a nice little entry once we get those buying come back into that actual stock. SPY, I think it's just going to keep rolling over here. So let's go to the 3-minute. It's rolling over on VWAP, retest of VWAP rejection, still downside momentum is intact with SPY chart. Dang, EPLD. What's going on with that one? Looking at the top gainers for the day. Let me see what we got. Let me see what we got in the top gainers that maybe we could trade a little bit. Just gonna, I've got another screen on the top. I'm just gonna check, see if there's anything here. Oh, this one hit 64 cents. That's good. So SPY rolling over, guys. So what do you guys think? What's the sentiment still? What do you guys think about the sentiment for SPY? Tesla's dropping. Look at this, all the way down to 412. Tesla's falling off here. So if we go down to the daily, we have, this is where it can get very interesting. We can look at this level. I'm going to draw a box here from the body to the wick. And I'm going to say right here, potentially this could be a great pickup. So I'm going to look at this level that we're hitting right now, this box. If we can hold between, what's that, 411 to 413, if we get some buying that steps in, strong buying, this goes away, this sell side, and we see some some strong hold here and the buyers come in and push this off this level, could be a nice call action, at least a day trade, or it could be a swing trade. And we got to see if it can hold this price action here. If it can, then this could be prime for a nice buy, especially looking at the bigger time frames as well. Probably just going to lower this a little bit more right there. Make it down to about 409. So day trade wise, for Tesla, I'm just going to look to see if we either bounce here and we see some good pickup, or maybe we retest here and we get good pickup from 409. If we don't get 409 hold, then we're likely to come down to retest the low 400s, maybe below 400 on this Tesla chart, because that's quite the sell-off. That's quite the gap down it's created overnight. $18 down for the day. If this does not hold up, there's a gap fill opportunity all the way down to 396. You see this little green box? There's an unresolved gap right here. So that's where I would aim for more downside if we don't hold. So 409 for me is the last strong hold for this for the day, or this is going to just keep falling down towards that maybe gap fill. What's this say? Fear and greed. What does that say? Big whales clearing out stuff and ready to buy at lows. Yeah, that's what they're going to do. They're going to sell their positions, make that lot of money, lot of income, and then they're going to go cash. I mean, if you look at Warren Buffett and Berkshire, they're just going way more cash heavy now. Every time they report, they got a lot more cash on hand. So, you know, that's what they're going to do. They're going to say, well, when they think that the market looks a little toppy, they're going to start selling their big positions, sit cash heavy, wait for a big 10, maybe 15% correction, and then start buying at those lows again to play it back up. You know, this is a game for them to make money. It's harder for us, right? As retail traders, they got a lot more tools at their disposal, and it's easy for them. It's rigged. What we can do is, like I say, learn a strategy that will help us become more consistent. So Tesla dropped down 4% for the day. Huge pullback for Tesla. So all I'm going to look for is a break back above 414 for calls towards 418. Or we look for a retest of 409 and a hold and start pushing off with some strong buying. Then I look to play some calls for the day, scalp some calls there. Santa will be back late this year. Santa may not come. Santa may not come this year. Santa may have come early this year already. Anyone trade the watch list moves? CMND did very well on the watch list from 42 cents all the way up to, what did we hit on this one today? CMND. We went all the way to 64 cents from 42. So that's 22-cent profit per share. Really good return there. 50%, at least 50% return. Same thing with SOND. This one also, one I'm still going to watch. This one hit 26, so it did hit our target from 22. So that's about 20% return on the entry to the max profit today. But this one does seem to be holding up pretty well. We do get these quite the pumps that we've been getting lately. So if we get over VWAP, so I'm looking for a clearance of 24.5 cents. If we can get over VWAP with this SOND, then I'll be looking to take a trade back towards that 26. So that's about 10% return, right? So I'd be looking for that kind of move. Once we get over 24.5 cents over VWAP, so we start to look a bit more bullish on the sediment, then we look to trade this towards that 26 again. And then from there, we can probably aim for about 28 to 29. And then maybe we get to about 30 to 31 if the momentum is really strong in our favor. So over 24.5 cents will be a day trade scalp, not something you swing. Just get in, get out with some profit, or stop out with minimal loss. Okay, so this. Thank you for that. Now it's done. Yeah, I missed CMND. I missed that one. That was a bigger one, 50% mover. Missed that one totally. It's okay though. We're fine. We're getting the bounce now in the market. So Tesla's starting to move off this level that I drew the box. We said above 414, go for some calls up to about 418. And Tesla's expensive, so probably go out the money by about $5, maybe more. Let's see how much they cost. Tesla. So November 14th, we go calls and we go to 420. They're about $400. No, they're not. Yeah, $400 a contract, which isn't that bad. They got the most volume as well. If we look at the volume right now, 420s have a lot of volume as well compared with the rest. Let me just buy one here. Let's see. Let's see what happens with this candle. If we roll over and if we hold the top of this box, then I grab it on the bounce there. But I've got the 420 calls lined up. Finally we got 2 bars of buying volume after all this selling, so it's looking a little better here. So look at so SPY's looking more bullish. The bullish it's looked all day long. Look at this buying volume coming in. We're above VWAP. We're above the SMA 20 now. We've got a buy signal on this one. If we can get into this box again, it looks a lot better for a reversal trade. If it can get back into the box and above, then it looks like we can start pumping here. So go back to Tesla. I think Tesla has a lot of potential from these lows of 411 this morning up to 415. I'm gonna grab one call, 420 Tesla. I haven't pressed the button yet. Ready to press the button though. Let's see here. Ideally, off the yellow box would be the best. So give me a little pullback. I may actually buy this further out. I may buy next week's expiration, which is the 21st. I may do that instead. A little bit more expensive, actually. Maybe 425s for next week. So I've got a week for this to play out. 425 calls. That's what I'm going to do for next week. I'm going to buy one right now. Done. Bought one. So I bought one contract. I'm going to have some money for one more contract on the side, but I grabbed one. And you can go for tomorrow's expiration too. It's a lot cheaper, but I grabbed next week 425 calls. And I got it for $850 bucks. So I grabbed one contract there. Doesn't mean they can't give you good gains if you want to day trade those. I just want to give a little bit more time at my disposal here. And even if we do start pumping back up today, we get to 418, 420, those will give you profits as well. Good morning, Charlie. So 850 was the buy there, 850 bucks a contract, bought one. And my stop, even today, if we decide to lose this yellow box, I just stop out and take the loss on that contract. Because if we lose this box, I think we can come down another $10. I grab it there. It's okay, I can grab some there if I need to. About 10 cents a contract, they're up. 15 cents a contract. Now we just need some more. We need some stronger buying. This is a little bit weak here. But the RSI is over 50. Well, it's oversold still, should I say? But it's back into that range of the RSI, not all the way down there and super oversold territory. Oh, this is not good. So SON, that SOND, still sitting at 21 cents. I wanted a break of 24.5 cents to play this. We can scalp this up and down all day long if we wanted to. From once we get above 24.5, then we may have a little scalp up and down if it can't break through that 26 high, 26.37 high today. If we can break through that, then we have some opportunity to play it up to 28 to 30 cents, which is going to give us 20% return on SOND. I got that on my watch list here on the side, right here. So it's still 21 and a half. So it needs to go up another 3 cents for me to be interested. So now we're back in the box with SPY. I will just rinse and repeat this trade again. If it decides to fall off again, then I will just queue it up one more time again. Just the levels will still be the same for me. So if we lose this box again, I will just rinse and repeat that trade. If we lose this box, we retest, we start falling, I will do the same thing. I will trade the same way. I would trade 678 puts for tomorrow, and I would rinse and repeat that trade with a stop right behind to protect my previous profits on this trade. Oh, I should have picked that one too. That was good. So puts for SPY 678 for tomorrow. So I took that Tesla call for next week, so that one's at least I have a little bit of time there. I'm looking for 678 puts on SPY here. Just gonna wait for that if we lose the box again. I'll queue up quantity of 3 contracts. On that. Tesla pulling back a little bit. See if we can hold that previous low, and I grab one more contract for next week and top it out at 2. If we can hold that low day and push off that level. Okay, I'm going to take, once this candle closes under that green line, I'm going to take that one, those 3 puts for tomorrow. 38 seconds. Still holding up. 1 second left. This candle's still in the box. Okay, let's see if we're going to start rolling over again here. Looks like we're going to rinse and repeat this. So now the only thing that's holding SPY is we got VWAP here, and we also got the ribbon. It needs to lose that flush under that, then this is going to likely find that low day again. If we can lose all that, all of those positive levels underneath. Tesla rolled over a little bit here. So this is the level I'm going to watch now. It needs to hold this box, and then I grab one more contract. It's okay for me. But if it loses that total box, then I'm just going to stop out of it. even if it's next week's expiration. Doesn't look so great here. Just rolled right over pretty quickly. Need more cash to buy more stuff. Yeah, so I mean, it could be a time to go more cash, and then you just buy some more discounts on the stocks you like long term with that cash once it bottoms out. But for me, I like to dip my toes in a lot of the leverage trades, the bearish ones, so they can generate really good revenue, even swing trading. So you can see like this Ion Z is up 14% today, and then this RGTZ is up 14%. So these ETFs are good to trade. Even on bad days, you can make some really good returns on these bearish ETFs. So there's opportunity out there. Just got to be a little bit more safer and a little bit, tighter on your stop loss, just in case we get a lot more moves. All right, got about 5 minutes. I'm gonna jump off and get ready for the coaching at 11. So right at the beginning, we got the move to the downside on SPY. Tesla was also a big move to the downside. I'm gonna keep those calls, the 425 calls for next week, as long as we hold that box. If we lose the box, the candle close under the box, then I'm just gonna exit that one contract. And then I just look to pick up some maybe at that 396. Which is that gap fill opportunity. We could literally fill that gap pretty quickly, or at least test the top of the gap, which is 402. The full gap fill is all the way to 396. So if we don't hold this box that I drew, I believe it's 409, 410. If we don't hold this now, which we're finding it pretty hard already, we've got sell side volume come back in aggressively. If we don't hold this box, then I will look to pick up. It may be tomorrow, it may be Monday. Look to pick up either from the top of the gap, and you can play puts all the way to the top of the gap, or we can play it from the total gap fill if it holds from 396. So there's a few levels that we can look at going into tomorrow, Monday, and once that buy side comes back in, then that could be a really good buy-in to play the reversal. We know Tesla has a lot going on, and a lot of potential here. All-time highs is about 488, so they were close to getting there. So doesn't look too great right this second. Let's see. Any questions before I pop out? We've got about 3 minutes. Tesla just dumped right off, so I'm just good. I'm going to pay attention to this 409, see if we can start picking up and moving above it. If it just starts to decay and sell off, then I exit that one call and take the loss that's there. But SPY is rolling over as well, so we got the sell side signal coming back into it. VWAP never held below the SMA 20 again, and we're on the RSI below 50. So there's a lot of confirmation saying more downside is likely to come here. If we look at the trends, we've got strong bearish, neutral, bearish. Volume's gone back more sell side 90%. So looks like we're going to be falling a little bit lower here. Yep, we're falling. If we lose that level of 678.81, I think we retest the lower day again. I think we're going to come down there. We just got to lose that total SMA 20 low, which is 678.81. If we close a candle under that, I think we're going to fall right back down to those lows. Alrighty, guys, I'm gonna jump on out of here. Look for more downside on SPY. If we lose that level, 478.81, more downside, more puts to play, probably retest lower day, or maybe we get bounced there. But that's what my target will be for that lower day as a target from downside. And then I will continue to update on Tesla. It bounced a little bit up to 410. I would update that in my channel in the Discord as well. So if you wanted to join the coaching, make sure that you jump in, get the link. It's pbalerts.com / let me just make sure I get it correct before I jump on out of here. So it's pbalerts / coaching / MadMaverick. That's where you're going to get the coaching to sign up there. Starts in 30 minutes live. And then I will put out another trade idea for the week. We've been killing them lately. So yeah, it's a pleasure hanging out, and I'll see you guys then. Bye for now.